What is up, guys? This is Steve from Get Game Smart coming back with another TFT VOD review and a bit of a guide. We're going to be looking at the Vanguard Mystics build, but before that, I just wanted to call attention to the fact that I received this really lovely message from one of my clients that I've done a coaching with, who is super appreciative and was able to implement the strategies and coachings that I taught him and was able to hit platinum within 30 games. So super exciting. Congrats to the Flash. If you're interested in a coaching, comment down below and we can get one arranged. Yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the VOD review. What is up, guys? This is Steve back with another episode of Get Game Smart. We are playing another game of TeamFight Tactics today, and this is going to be a little bit of a guide and an introduction to how to play the very popular Fabled Mystic Vanguard build that's very popular in set 4.5. I have been playing a ton of set 5 recently on the PBE, and this might be some of my last 4.5 related content, but I wanted to make sure I had this guide out to you because it is one of the 3 builds that I recommend to people trying to climb through silver, gold, and platinum right now at the lower elo, or sorry, at the end of the season. And yeah, this is like basically the final installment in my climbing at the end of the season guide, I suppose. If you've been enjoying these videos, do remember to like and subscribe down below. Helps a ton. And yeah, so this game was played at the Diamond 3 or Diamond 2 elo. I think Diamond 2 is probably where I'm going to be staying for 4.5, unfortunately. Don't think we'll make the push to Masters. But we were able to get a 4 Vanguard opener, and I actually obviously didn't plan on playing Mystic Vanguard and had already slammed the Runans just to give myself a bit of board strength early. So Runans is pretty good on Wukong. If you're ever going for the reroll Wukong build, it's definitely one of his core items, so we've got a pretty good item holder there, and the Nasus 2 is definitely good to get the Divine Tag as well on our carry Wukong here. Altogether, this puts out a pretty strong board. Unfortunately, Callista is too strong of a champion in the early game. It's basically like Kindred, Callista, and Shyvana are the 3 costs that are absolutely dominant, and if you ever get one of those 3 champions in a orb early on during like stage 1 or 2, you should definitely try to hold on to it and get it some play. Yeah, anyways, this is a pretty strong opener for Vanguard. If you can get it out early, I almost always recommend you do. Like, it's just so much armor, and like nobody's got an IE or anything, so even though your board doesn't do the most damage, just the Wukong with Runans here is like able to really carry this early lobby. But as far as core items in this build go, it's really about prioritizing items for your Nico, and the best items on your Nico are going to be Jeweled Gauntlet. Like, that item is almost non-negotiable because it is by far the most damage benefit that you're going to get. She casts like 3 times or something, and the ability for all of them to crit is just phenomenal. So yeah, it's crazy. Definitely get Jeweled Gauntlet on your Nico. Then you're looking for a defensive item on your Nico, and that's either going to be a Vanguard Spatula, that's probably the better of the 2, or a Guardian Angel. So Guardian Angel is your more common itemization, but in games that you get a Spatula, you either want the Vanguard Spatula on the Nico or the Cho'Gath. So yeah, those are the 2 defensive itemization options. And then the 3rd item you want is a Hextech Gunblade. So Hextech Gunblade is going to allow the ultimate to heal, and it just makes her so much more tanky. So that's basically the itemization that you're looking for. You're prioritizing rods and swords in the early game in order to get both of your Vanguard and to get your Guardian Angel and your Hextech, you need 2 swords, and to get your Jeweled Gauntlet and your Hextech, you need 2 rods. So those are the priority items in this build. Other than that, it's all about playing your strongest board. I often find myself actually kind of playing this weird Vanguard Siphoner build when I'm going into it, because Vladimir is a really good item holder for your Nico. So yeah, and of course the Nasus gives the Divine Tag. Like, there's some synergies there. We do get the Nico, but I don't think we're going to throw her in immediately. We'll see here. We'll see what I ended up doing here. It's been a while since I played this game. But I am slamming items because this is a pretty competitive lobby. Like, this is a diamond plus lobby kind of thing. Everybody's at least diamond 4 in here. So if I'm on a win streak and I want to continue that, I figure I need to get my items onto the board, and this Wukong has been a pretty good carrier, so I end up slamming, wow, three items onto the Wukong, the Hodge and the Dragonclaw. So I think Dragonclaw is a really good item in Vanguard. In Vanguard builds, your guys are going to have so much armor that, like, AD isn't really going to be their problem, isn't going to be what kills them. So Dragonclaw is going to give you a lot more resilience against those like Mage and other Nico players, as well as Keeper builds as well. So yeah, any of the builds that might give you issues, slap a couple of Dragon's Claws on there and you're good to go. And yeah, slamming these items has given me a huge power spike right now. Like, I'm just cruising over everybody. A lot of people are greeting their items because they're trying to make perfect items for the late game, which is something that I definitely noticed as I got higher up the rankings. Like, in Diamond 4, everyone plays their, like, up until Diamond 4, everyone plays their absolute best board at all times. They slam items. As soon as you get to, like, Diamond 3, people are kind of like, okay, we know that you can build the best board. It's more about building a board that's still gonna win rounds in round 5 and 6. But I'm still a strong advocate for, like, slamming your items, getting as much value as you can out of them in the early game, and that carries you to a lot more top 4s, even if it doesn't mean you win as many games. But that's just my philosophy. At the carousel, obviously we would have loved that spatula, but we've got the Cursive first, and that means we don't get the item we want. We end up taking a tier away, which really isn't that good. So honestly, my itemization in this game is not great, and that is because I am really trying to make the best of pretty mediocre situations, admittedly. Yeah, honestly, I'm like halfway between this Wukong reroll and like, who knows if I'm even fully committed to playing this build. Like, these items would transfer over to like a Slayer's build or whatever. Like, I could pivot out of this still. I'm not that stuck in it. But if we are talking more generally about like what good itemization looks like in this build, after you've itemized your Nico, as we've talked about, you're going to want to look at basically itemizing whoever you're going to 3-star is like the general rule of thumb. Oftentimes that'll be the Nautilus. Sometimes it's the Cho'Gath. But yeah, if you've got a 3-star Vanguard, then you're going to want to itemize that person. Dragonclaw is a really popular item, and just like whatever item's good on that champion. Often a Sunfire is really good on Vanguards. As well, if you get a bow, the best use of your bow in this build is going to be a static shiv. So I often have my static shiv and like a Sunfire and like Ionic Spark or something on my Nautilus, and if I 3-star that Nautilus, then he's doing a ton of work. And he's, more than anything, the static shiv and Ionic Spark, which are like pretty core items in this build typically, are mainly about reducing the MR shred, or rather about inducing the MR shred so that your Nico can do more damage. So we've actually pulled our Nico out right now, just because we can get up to the 6 Vanguard power spike question mark. But even against a duelist player, it looks like that was not the right call because we just had no damage there. But fortunately, 2-star Sejuani is going to help out quite a bit. Yeah, we really need to get some backline damage in. We also just went past a Nico, so that was probably an accidental roll, absolutely griefing ourselves. Even at the highest levels, it's, well, not the highest levels, it's like Diamond 2 or whatever, Diamond 3. Far from the highest levels, but all I'm saying is we grief ourselves here too. Yeah, we just rolled past a Nico, which obviously is pretty important to this build, because we haven't even 2-starred our Nico yet. Anyways, we do slam the Jeweled Gauntlet, which is very good, obviously. Yeah, putting it down on the Nasus is okay. I guess we sold our Vladimir to make Econ earlier. It would probably, like, if we were still running, say, 4 Vanguard, the Siphoner, the Jeweled Gauntlet would be better on the Vlad. But yeah, no, it's definitely still good on the Nasus, and people are starting to hit at the lower end of the lobby. The people in 5th through 8th sort of thing are starting to spike up pretty hard. And we're at the carousel, no longer the Curse of First, which means we're able to get this juicy Lee Sin with a sword. Not going to be using the Lee Sin. Definitely has merit in this build sometimes at level 9, but or if you can get like a blue buff on him, but in this case, yeah, it looks like we're gonna play him for a round just because, heck, we'll go up to a fast 7. Yeah, no, we're actually not gonna play him. Just kidding, guys. Just wanted you for your item. Just wanted you for your body, Lee Sin. We do slam the GA, and our Susan, our Nasus, is currently the item carrier for our Nico. We are just waiting for a level 2 Nico to get that in, since we do have Siphoner with, I think we threw a Morgana in for Siphoner, which is okay. I don't think it's that good, but yeah, it's definitely not going to beat that mage board. Oh well. I think I'm kind of griefing myself here. I think even the level 1 Nico would probably be a better holder. Yeah, and I'm finally deciding that as well. Like, I just didn't have enough damage with that board. It didn't matter if I was healing a bit because my guys didn't do enough damage to heal. And I finally hit the Nico too. Unfortunately, it's before the combat round starts, so looks like we might slide one more loss here. Definitely not my cleanest game. Definitely, like part of the reason I do these is to make guides, but it's also to audit my own play and just realize that, hey, I'm making a ton of mistakes. So anytime you're like climbing and you get stuck, definitely go and watch your own VODs because it'll make you realize how bad you are at this game. And not that there's anything wrong with it. This game's pretty darn complicated, and yeah, we do pick up a Nico's there as well as a blue buff. We're gonna slam that, and we get a sparring glove. So that's not great because we already have the one crit glove that we need. So we actually slam a Hodge. So I don't know if you guys recall, but we were talking about perfect items on Nico earlier, and we said jeweled, the jeweled gauntlet is like non-negotiable, best damage item for Nico. Check. GA or Vanguard spat. Well, unfortunately, we didn't see any spatulas this game that we had access to, so GA is the default second best item, and yeah, got that check. But then we're actually missing a very crucial item, and that's Hextech Gunblade, and that would have given really consistent healing to our Nico, and instead we're like, well, let's make the best of a bad situation, and we actually slam a second Hodge onto our Nico. Well, not 2 Hodges onto the Nico, but a second Hodge on our board onto the Nico. Yeah, and it definitely is serviceable, but the Hextech Gunblade would be a lot better because it just removes a lot of the variance, because like the Nico really wants the spell healing, so we only get that half the time, and the other time it just does a lot of damage, which like honestly isn't a bad thing, but definitely would prefer healing 100% of the time. And yeah, we've just been setting up our comp now around protecting this Nico. Typically in my like guides and my recommendations, I wouldn't have like suggested people to hold on to this Wukong, because I mean a 2-star Wukong right now isn't giving me a ton of value. Like especially the fact that I'm at 7 Vanguards right now is kind of whack, because like I could have a non-chosen Wukong, and he could probably also be a 2-star. Well, he could be because I have one on my bench, and I wouldn't lose anything as far as the Vanguard trait goes. But at the same time, I'm 2 Wukongs away from it. I didn't let it interrupt my leveling patterns at all. I have a Nico sitting on my bench, and I'm just like, well, I'll be damned if I don't get value eventually from this Wukong, so I'm just kind of gritting my teeth and continuing to roll and hope that the Wukong pops up, as well as I'm definitely realizing that my win condition will be a 3-star Nico as well, because she doesn't have perfect items, and I'm definitely going to need the damage. Doing some scouting around here, and yeah, looking like we're also the only Vanguard player, which helps tremendously, or rather the only Fabled player. Obviously, hitting Fabled here with that Cho'Gath is huge and very much what we were rolling for over the last few rounds. This is a very big power spike for our Nico. yeah, are we able to clutch it against the level 3 Darius? No, but it wasn't that far off, and we've got, I mean, 3 Nikos to go till we get our own 3-star, or just 2 with the Nikos help. So we're in pretty good shape, honestly. We're just doing some scouting, making sure we're on the opposite side of the, making sure we're on the same side as the Aurelian Soul, so that we don't get insta blown up, and continuing to roll down, passing on the Sejuani because we're not going to 3-star the Sejuani and we've already got 2 stars. But yeah, just really in search of these final, there it is, our Nico, and that'll allow us to, oh no, that's the last Nico we need. That's the last Nico we need with our Nico's help. Yeah, and we're not able to beat this Kale's player without it. Kale has perfect items. Unfortunate that my micro is just not fast enough to pull those things off. Yeah, I passed on the Aatrox there as well for the same reason. Don't plan on 3-starring it because this game is quite late. Oh my goodness. Did I grief myself? I thought I had all the Nikos I needed. What is happening? Did I miss picking up a Nico? Or maybe I just had 3. I don't know. I thought I was much closer to the Nico 3-star, but fortunately I hit the Wukong 3-star, which is going to hold me over. I hit it naturally. Well, not naturally, it's my chosen. But I wasn't forced to use my Nico's help there, which is quite good. Yeah, I might have to go back and review that. I think I definitely griefed myself there. At least not picking up. Like, there's like at least 2 or 3 Nikos I think that I've missed now, and that would be the difference between having a 3-star and not having a 3-star right now. But yeah, not too much on that carousel that we actually wanted. Like, the duelist spat would be really juicy and like a ton of other builds, but this is not one that has any, so we just get another aura item. Aura items are always going to be good when you have this like hyper carry, like a Nico type deal. Definitely good to boost them up and make sure that they're casting faster with the bonus attack speed, and that they bonus ability power on Nico is really good because her cast goes off like 3 times or something with the Fabled proc. It's really good. And we are really donkey rolling for this Nico 3 at this point. This is a lot of what this game becomes, and looking back at this, it should not have been that close. It should really not have been this close because I've passed at least 2 Nikos. But such is life, and this game is not about playing perfectly, it's about playing well, and at least it is for me because I'm not playing it at a competitive level. But yeah, this is pretty much how you do run the Vanguard Fabled Mystic setup. Obviously we don't have perfect items. We would definitely like to have an Ionic Spark and a Static Shiv, as well as a Hextech Gunblade on our Nico instead. Vanguard spats would be helpful, and stop griefing yourself by passing up units that are really important to the comp. Yeah, we finally hit it here on literally our last bit of gold. We got a Sojins, which should definitely go on the Cho'Gath because that Cho'Gath is providing a ton of CC with the Fabled buff. Getting a knock-up on every single unit is just like, that's so much area of effect crowd control. How can you not want that? And yeah, we've hit our 3-star Nico, so it's looking like we're actually going to be able to hold on and do a bit better than top 4 here, because prior, like, if you don't hit that 3-star Nico, especially after griefing yourself and passing on so many, at the higher like Diamond Plus level, you're just not gonna top 3. Maybe you top 4 if you play the early game really well. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Good game, well played. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Cheers.